So, I may have gone to Robert Hall Originals again and bought a bunch of stuff, including some like cool Jasper, which I've been actually working on turning into bifaces so that I can bake into points. And yeah, it's I had a pretty good haul again. Where to start? I guess over here, got lots of cool Petrified Woods over here, including, where is it? It should be, there it is. Including this really cool agatized limb cast. I might cut a bit off of this end and then polish both ends. You can see some really cool botryoidal kind of mammillary growths in that pocket, and then you got more here, so that's really cool. And you got this end, and you can see that there's more of those growths in there, so this is a pretty cool piece. I've got a bunch of other stuff. I've got some pretty nice colorful petrified wood from Arizona. Nice colors, reds, greens, yellows, and oranges and stuff, and some other interesting things. This is some material from around Sudbury. It's like a pink green. I bought some slabs of it, but I found a large chunk, so I thought, you know what, I'll take a raw piece home so I can actually slab it myself. I'll put the name up in the top because I forget. Here's some porphyry from Sudbury. I had a larger chunk. I brought this chunk home because it'd be an easy piece to polish up. Some more obsidian, smaller piece. I could still probably work this into a point if I wanted to. Some interesting jaspers. Some of this jasper I just took. It's not necessarily the greatest lapidary material, but it does make for some nice flint knapping material. Especially this guy. This guy's got some nice colors and patterns in it. Hopefully I can preserve a lot of those. Up next, we got this. This is some banded iron formations from northern Ontario. Well, northern. It's from Ontario, from kind of like central and northern Ontario. Here's just an interesting little agate piece. I don't know where it's from, but you can see, if you look closely, there's all these little tiny crystals. And I love that in agates. Agates that have like little interesting little bits are like my favorite. Here's some interesting stuff. This is some type of opal. I've seen it before online, and it's like this really cool kind of green banded opal. I found this chunk and then this chunk. This chunk has some fractures in it, so I'll have to see what I can do with it, but I still like it. For the price I got for it, it's worth it. I've got some Wonderstone Rhyolite, some Pseudomorph Agate from Mexico, I believe. Some other interesting agate with some interesting formations in there that I think would look really cool when polished up. Same with this guy. It's just a very thin end piece of an agate, but it's got some very interesting formations and stuff. It looks much better wet, but I don't really have that. I've got seam agates from Nova Scotia. And I found a bunch more thunder eggs and some big ones with doubles and stuff. And you can see this one's interesting because I didn't, the rhyolite is, or the outside stuff is like a lot wider, but you can see there's calciny in the inside, and it's all bubbly and stuff and really cool looking. And there's two of them, so I'm gonna have to try and figure out how I'm gonna cut this one, because there's like these little ones on the side that you can even see these little ones have stuff in them. So I've got to figure out a way that I can kind of cut across. Maybe I go kind of like start from this end and go across this way, and then get all that bubbly goodness. And I've got this one. This one's interesting because you can see on this side there's some really interesting stuff. I don't know if this would be an agate. It probably feels more like a geode on the inside, but it's like same kind of bubbly rhyolite kind of exterior. Some more. This one was broken, but it had some good promise, so I'll cut the broken end off and then polish it. It seems like it has some faint water lines. This one was just a piece I found in like a rock pile. Another interesting thunder egg. This one has some cool like features. It's got some like pluminess in this area, and it kind of turns into like some like kind of cool opal-y chunks in here. So I thought that was cool and neat. And I've got some other ones. These two, they probably came from the same location, judging by their exteriors. But you can see they have hints of what's inside. You can kind of see the seams of like agate, opal-y stuff. This one I think it was a shot in the dark. Yeah, I think this one's a shot in the dark, but I took it because it's got some lumps on it, so who knows, maybe those lumps have some cool stuff in it when I cut it open. This one, you can see that there's agate there, so it's kind of like definitely confirmed there's something in there. But I'm interested if there's a second one and if there's more in here. And I think there is, because this stuff seems to be kind of like agate something. So this is another kind of interesting kind of thunder eggish thing. I got these all for really good prices. Of course, all my Rhyolites, well, not Rhyolites, these are like Jaspers. Some of these, this guy will definitely be a slabber, and this guy doesn't look, maybe he has too many fractures for flint knapping, but this one might be a good candidate for flint knapping as well. And then I got a whole bunch of small material, some like agatized wood. I found a pile of Botswana agates, so I grabbed all of those. Because what I'm also going to do, I've got a second cousin who's really interested in rocks and stuff, and I won a rock tumbler recently, but I have one already, and I don't really need a second one. So I'm going to gift her a rock tumbler, and then I'm going to give her a couple batches of rocks so that she can have a head start and get tumbling right away. So I've got a lot of this material is going to be going to my cousin, actually, except for like these slab things. Some of the Botswana agates I'll probably keep for myself. I'll cut them up and see how they look, and I will give her definitely a bunch of them, but there are a couple that look promising cut up and polished. But I had really good luck at this place because I actually found, so what happened was I was standing in line to check out, and I saw this on a display case, and this is a dry head agate. And for those who know, dry head agate, or for those who don't know, dry head agates, the source of dry head agates is like it can't be collected at anymore. So what's out there on the market is what we have. So I saw this lovely dry head agate with these, it's almost like a light purple lilac purple quartz, which is really cool. And you can actually see on this side, on the unpolished side, you can actually see it turns into a darker amethyst in that pocket there. And just like the amazing banding and like just fortifications, and like it's an amazing piece. I got a really good deal on it. And as I was at the cashier mentioned, "Oh wow, I'm glad somebody recognized what this was," because I think I was talking to a lady behind me. I was like, this comes from a spot that like you can't collect that anymore, and so this is like all old stock. Like you won't have a chance of giving it anymore. And I guess the cashier overheard that I knew what dry head agates were and how uncommon they were, and she's like, "Well, I think we may have a raw piece out back." And so she comes out with this, a nice unpolished partial nodule, let's call it that, of dry head agate. And I was like, wow. And the price for it, again, great price. Like this place also, Robert Hall Originals right now, like it's 80% off on most things. Like it's insane. Like what I paid for everything, I got a really good deal. and I'm basically stocked up for like the next couple of years with things to cut and fiddle around with. And I think with this guy, I'll polish this front face and then this side face here, and then I'm gonna leave this face as is natural, because I think if I polish, I'm gonna get rid of that nice quartz pocket. And there's some pretty dark, I think kind of smoky quartz in there. So I don't want to touch that. So I'm gonna work on polishing this face and this face into something nice. That was a really good score for me. And then of course I got some other interesting ones. I got this Apple Valley agate. I believe this is from California. It's like a Plume Agate. You can kind of see very nice plumes with like some awesome red fortifications and stuff. And we got like a Plume Agate from Mexico, kind of similar to that Apple Valley, but it's a lot like there's a lot more transparency and translucency, so the plumes are not as crazy, but then you can see more interesting, intricate details and stuff. And it's just really pretty material. And we got a couple more agates from Mexico. These are Liguana agates, I believe they're called, or that's how it's pronounced. This one's like a nice pink one with some cool, if you look closely at those the white bits on the edges, those are like baciolo. I love those little details in these types of agates. And then this one's like a nice yellow one with like a kind of a light purple amethysty crystal pocket. Just a very cool little agate specimen from Mexico. And then we've got this. This is an ilmenite specimen from Bancroft. More specifically, this would have come from the Faraday mine, which I have a very nice magnetite specimen from that I got recently actually at a club auction. So I thought, you know what? Let's make it a pair and add this to the collection. And then, last but not least, I have this very interesting wolfenite specimen, which I believe is from Mexico, from Chihuahua somewhere, is what the information I got on this one. So a Mexican wolfenite specimen. And this was also just another outstanding deal. Like, this stuff, like you can see, like this stuff is like, there's so much interesting material in here. Some really cool stuff. I got some really awesome polished agates. Let's see if I can actually find a cool looking Botswana that shows good promise that I plan on cutting, because I did kind of look through some of these when I was picking them out, and some of these just like this one, like it's got really, it's hard to tell on the camera, but it's got lovely slight fortifications, and then it's got like a blue to pink coloration. Some of the ones, there are better ones in that bucket, but I just couldn't find them right now. Sorry about my fingers. It's just stuff doesn't like to focus for some reason. But some of these I know will cut really nicely and don't have minimal fractures, and so those will be absolutely like gorgeous once cut. But as you can see, like, another great haul, and I already, including some awesome flint napping material, I've already started on it. Start creating some bifaces, and like this is just like, this was twice, let's put it like this, twice in a lifetime opportunity, because this is the second time I've been there. But I'm very happy with what I got.